Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be going over some of my favorite comics of 2022 so far. So it is the halfway point of the year, and I just wanted to take a look back at some of the stuff that I've really enjoyed this year. Now, these either may be comics that came out this year, ongoing series that I'm reading in 2022. For the most part, I've checked everything should be at least published or continue to be published in 2022. So yeah, it should be pretty straightforward, but I want to know also, what are you guys reading in 2022 that's going to make your favorite list so far? Let us know down in the comments, tweet at us, whatever you want to do. I just want to make sure that I don't miss out on any cool comics. Now, before I begin, I did a top 10 list, but I want to give a special shout out to some honorable mentions here because there's been so much. It was really tough kind of putting down this list and whittling down what it would be my top 10. But let's take a look at the honorable mentions real quick. So we have five comics I want to give a shout out to. So we have Catwoman Lonely City by Cliff Chang. This is a book from Black Label that follows a future version of Catwoman in a world where Batman has been killed. Now, this is all done by Cliff Chang, which is amazing work. I think one of the reasons I didn't quite put it up on my top 10 is because it is an ongoing series. We've only had a few issues, and as good as they are, I just want to make sure that we get to a conclusion. Uh, so we also have Grimm. This book is by Stephanie Phillips and Flaviano. This is also an ongoing, barely just started, kicked off in 2022. I would not be surprised if this is higher on the on my list by the end of the year. But so far, we've only had two issues as well. Same with 8 Billion Genies. Love this book. Charles Soule, Ryan Brown. Really, really fun stuff here. What if everyone on Earth got a genie and got one wish? And of course, in hilarity and insanity ensues after that. So very much something I'm really, really enjoying. But also only two issues. The other two are superhero comics that are ongoing. Dark Knights of Steel, which we are at a halfway point as of the recording of this video. This is by Tom Taylor and Yasmin Putri from DC Comics, and then X-Men Red, Al Ewing, Stefano Caselli, and man, I could make a whole list of just X-Men titles really for this favorite stuff of the year. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. So anything after this will be actually my top 10. There's so many more things that I wanted to put on this list, but the more I added, like I said, it was really hard to narrow things down. So at number 10, uh, Silver Coin from Image Comics. This is a sort of anthology book. It's done by Mike Walsh with various writers. So the rotating cast of writers is what really. So this is all kind of based around this Silver Coin. All the stories have something to do with it. As you can see from this cover, this is the James Tynion issue 11 that I recently reviewed on the channel. And man, I love this book so much. It's got the. It's such a great idea of having all the art is done by Michael Walsh, but then he will bring in various different writers for each issue. You can read Volume 1, it's already collected. Volume 2 should be collected pretty soon because we just had issue 11, so I would expect that in a couple of months. So much fun. If you like horror, I think this is it's one of the best things out there as far as horror comics. So highly, highly recommend. At number 9, we have Hulk versus Thor: Banner of War. This is a little bit of a cheat because it was hard for me to pick between the Thor series and the ongoing Hulk. So I just picked the series that's kind of combining them both. So we have right now, this is a crossover event that's going on by Donny Cates with art by Martin Coccolo and really cool covers by Gary Frank on the main cover. And yeah, this book celebrates the Hulk and Thor 60th anniversary, both at Marvel. So what better way to celebrate this than to have them fight each other in the most cosmically emotional event of 2022. It's really fun. Donny Cates is doing some really cool things with both series, so I highly recommend both reading. But this is just my compromise as to how to get both of those series in this video. Next up, I have at number 8, Ghost Cage. This is from Image Comics by Nick Dragotta and Caleb Golner. This is only a 3-issue book from Image, but Man, it is so much fun. It's hard for me to even describe how to, like, what the premise of the book is without giving too much away. But just as you can see the cover, some really fun concepts. It definitely feels a lot like a manga, especially because the art is black and white on the inside. But yeah, you don't want to miss out on this series. It will be collected very soon by Image Comics. So the team just did a fantastic job, and I highly encourage you to go check that out because I had a lot of fun with it, and I think you will too. There will be a full video review for the trade paperback when it comes out, so stay tuned for that on the channel. Next up at number seven, the Black Widow series by Kelly Thompson, which ended in 2022. This follows uh, Natasha in just trying to move on from some events. She recently came back from the dead because comic books are comic books, and was given this life. This book, the first volume of this book, was nominated for an Eisner. So I think the subsequent stuff just continues to be just as strong. This book is by Kelly Thompson with art by Elena Casagrande. Here you can see a cover by Peach Momoko, one of the variants, which I really like, one of my favorite variants from this series. So if you want some really fun Black Widow comics, I think Kelly Thompson really nailed it, and Elena Casagrande's art is just magnificent compliment to this story. It is very much a fun spy comic with all the embellishment of being in the Marvel universe. So I really enjoy that. Next up, at number six, we have Devil's Reign. This is the event, one of the events that Marvel had earlier in this year, and it follows all the stuff that's been set up in the Daredevil series. This is by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cecchetto. Uh, First of all, great art. Cecchetto was like his art is perfect for superhero comics. It is amazing how good it is. And then in this issue we have in this story, we come to the conclusion of like, okay, Mayor Fisk has outlawed superheroes in New York, and then what are the consequences of that? How can the hero solve that without inciting another incident like they did in Civil War? um, and yeah, Chip Zdarsky just has been leading this fantastic story for a long time now in the Daredevil series. Everything kind of leads up to the events of Devil's Reign, and it was just such a fun crossover series. I'm looking at the standalone issues, but even the tie-ins were very good. I don't think there was a bad tie-in among them. I know we talked about a little bit about that in the show, so let me know. But yeah, Devil's Reign at number six, great stuff. Now coming up at number five, one of the ongoing series that I talked about earlier. This is The Human Target by Tom King and Greg Smallwood. This is going to be a 12-issue series, so it is definitely still ongoing. But we've reached about the halfway point, and oh my god, this series is just so good. Normally, I don't read my books month to month, especially when it's a series like this. I kind of wait till they're done. But this series works out so perfectly as just as this like episodic thing, right? We have uh, somebody has poisoned the human target. He only has 13 days to live. So can he find this killer and solve his own murder before all that? And of course, the Justice League International is implicated with all this. Tom King's telling a very fun story. Greg Smallwood is just doing some of the best work. His layout panels, his designs, his art, just incredible work by this team. This will be one of the things that I look forward to collecting the most, because DC has been doing some great work with their collections as well. So really enjoy that. Now here's one of the only things that's not an ongoing series, but this is how much I enjoyed this one standalone comic, and I'm talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Annual 2022. This to me is probably one of the best standalone issues I've ever read in anything. This is by Juni Ba, with who does both the art and story. And the story follows the turtles after the events. Some really bad stuff has happened. They've lost Master Splinter, and they're trying to find themselves back as a family and as a unit. And this book tells you the story of how they try to heal from that. It is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I think Junibar really captures the essence of what a good Turtles book should be. It is incredible, and I just this one issue told me more about the Turtles than I could read in in probably 10 years of story, which is incredible. So at number three we have DC versus vampires. You guys know I love a good Elseworld story, and when you have Matthew Rosenberg and James Tynion IV writing a fun vampire story of how they pretty much want to destroy everything in the DC universe with art by Otto Schmidt. Like Otto Schmidt art is fantastic. If you don't follow Schmidt on Twitter, I would recommend you do so because the art drops that are found on his Twitter feed are just magnificent. Like just really cool costume designs, and then of course vampires are here because why not? This is one of my favorite ongoing series right now. This is something I actually read and review for the channel month over month because it is so popular with not just the viewers but also something that I like a lot. Next up, we have Step by Bloody Step from Image Comics again. Cy Spurrier, Matthias Vergara on art. And this book is special because it is a wordless, textless comic book. There is no text, there is no dialogue here. It is all a story told via this visual medium, something that can only be really accomplished in comic books, I think. It is incredible. It is amazing the work that this team is doing to give us this story of like how this young girl being led by this big iron giant need to find their way home. It is incredible, beautiful stuff. I just really, really enjoy it. So and then for the final issue, and this is just something that this is really uh, my favorite book because of just kind of like all the stuff that I really enjoy. It really has everything. My favorite number one issue, or my number one pick for 22 so far. New Mutants, the New Mutant series by Vita Yala and Rod Reis. When Vita took over the book, I was very excited because I love their work. Rod Reis has been on this book pretty much constantly since House of X, Powers of 10, and it just has some of my favorite characters, fantastic storytelling. The stuff that's going on right now, currently in this latest arc, is just fantasy based and is really cool. It follows magic. It is incredible. So very much enjoying that, and just I don't know. This is the first thing I want to read once it's finally out in the shelves. So very cool stuff. Let me give you a quick recap of everything because I want you guys to go check all these series out. So at number 10, we have The Silver Coin. At number 9, Hulk vs. Thor, Banner of War. At number 8, Ghost Cage. At number 7, we have Black Widow. At number 6, we have Devil's Reign. At number 5, Human Target. At number 4, the TMNT Annual 2022. At number 3, DC versus Vampires. At number 2, we have Step by Bloody Step. And at number 1, the New Mutants ongoing series. So there you have it. Those are my favorite comics of 2022 so far. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I haven't read, so I want you guys to drop recommendations in the chat. Drop your list in the chat. I want to know what are other people reading. Obviously, we're all very different, and this list by no means that these are the best things out there in print. I don't think I could put a list together like that without taking some time to do a lot of research. This is just like as I was reading, looking back to my pull list, looking back at all the reviews I've done, like what are some of the things that I've rated the highest, just things that are I've been really excited to talk about in the podcast. So as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Sundays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. So make sure to keep on subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.